What's up, vlog? It has been a minute. It is currently July 27th, 4:42 p.m. It is a Monday, a beautiful Monday. Yeah, I think life has just been lifing, and I haven't been able to do as much of these like video vlogs of like checking in on my progress, but I need to practice more self-care, which is making these promises to myself and actually following through on them. But yeah, what can I give an update on since then? Let me look at my YouTube channel and see how long it's been, because I feel like I haven't done this in a while. The last time I posted was 2 months ago. You're kidding. 2 months ago, but I have 15 subscribers, which is crazy because I'm like, who's watching these? I didn't send it to 15 people. But if you're here, thank you. If you're also trying to figure out life and, struggling to navigate life through your 20s, then you're in the right spot, because I'm also struggling, and this is me just kind of capturing it all and dumping my thoughts. And honestly, if you're also feeling like this, I feel like it's helpful to also just dump your thoughts. But yeah, I have 2 months of thought dumping to do, so let me get through it. Maybe I'll just start off with life as of recently, only because I'm really just trying to adapt a new mindset for life. So one thing that I've recently done is volunteering. Volunteering at Musical Theater West, which is a nonprofit for in Long Beach, for theater productions and stuff like that. And I'm volunteering at the Guild, which is basically I volunteer at shows, I help usher people and stuff like that. Long story short, though, I had watched In the Heights, and somebody at the hospitality or whatever area was like, "Oh, you can volunteer, etc." When I inquired initially, I thought it was volunteering for like production, stage play, whatever. I didn't realize it was for mainly for the ushering and stuff like that. And yeah, and so I did it anyways. I joined. I did not realize the age demographic, age range, and the ethnicities, and the cultures that would be in this organization. But let's just say it's nobody who looks like me or nobody that is around my age either. So there's that. But I think it is a great exposure because I guess I've just been a bit comfortable and I guess privileged enough to say that, I enjoy working around people that I know and like values kind of align, but obviously that is not the case everywhere. And so being into this thing where I'm like definitely like the minority, it's something very, very different and uncomfortable, but not a bad thing. It's just that I'm, it's new to me. And so I'm glad that I'm pushing myself to be in these situations, because like it's different. I mean, one example is when I was volunteering on Saturday, every single conversation had something to do with death. Being that, these are older patrons slash like ushers and stuff like that. And, I feel like somebody who's younger, I feel like that conversation doesn't happen as often. But at the end of the day, that is the reality of life. And I think being exposed to, the older generations and working with these people, I think it's not that it's refreshing, but it's kind of like an instant like life check or reality check, that it's true, everybody will die, and that is the truth. um and I have to live with that and live with the life that I want to make out of all of this. And so all that to say is that I am trying to just have a brighter outlook on life, because it moves so fast. Like, let me give you the examples of like where death has come up in these conversations. When I first got there and was volunteering, basically I was working at the boutique where they were selling certain things, and they're like, "Oh yeah, what do you have for this specific what's it called, like for the booth, etc." And then the person who was in charge of it was like, "Oh yeah, we were selling XYZ things, people bought this, and then we're selling," and then I'm gonna say a name, but it's not the real name, obviously. It was Patty's stuff. etc. And they're like, oh, who's Patty, blah, 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 this and that. She used to be an usher with Musical Theater West, but she actually had passed away. So that was already a thing. I was like, oh, it's very normal for them to kind of like come and go. And especially when I went to a meeting, basically they're like, yeah, they're low on ushers and volunteers in general because sometimes they've passed on to the other life, or they've passed on this opportunity because, you know, they're having grandkids or whatever and they want to spend more time with them. So that's kind of like the norm of, like, you know, sometimes they're gone from this earth, or they're just gone from the organization in the meantime. But again, that was like literally very common in our last like usher meeting or volunteer meeting. And then what else happened that day? Then I was talking to like one of my leads, and she was like, oh yeah, I just got into bocce. I wasn't at the last meeting because I had a bocce tournament. And hopefully I'm saying that right. I forgot. I get it confused with bocce and bucci, which is like the dessert. I'm pretty sure it's bocce. But anyways, she was like, yeah, a friend, whatever, got her into bocce. And then they practiced once. And the next day was the tournament. She eventually contacted her partner and was like, oh yeah, I don't feel well. I'm going to drive myself to the emergency room. And so she's not going to be able to make it to the tournament. So the other friend went, and she was able to be paired up with somebody else. But then later on that Friday, she found out that her partner had actually passed. So she was never able to actually play with her. So I'm like, oh my God, like that was just a normal conversation that they just brought up just cause. And I was like, oh wow, like, is this a normal thing? Then I had another conversation about how what's it called, about how this person, and a lot of these people actually live in the same retirement home, which I didn't realize. She was just explaining how, like, when she first got into the retirement home, like 100% of the friends that she had made when she first went into there, they already have passed away. So now it's gone to the point where she's kind of the generation of, like, you know, unfortunately crossing that road. And that was just like a very, not that it was like a interesting conversation, but I was like, oh no, like, don't say that or whatever. But then she was like, you know, it's the truth. Like, she was very blunt about it because, again, it's the truth. It's going to happen one way or another. And I think there was a part of that conversation that talks about death that was very, I don't know, I guess it was nice, not nice to be normalized, but I think in the sense that, like, it just gives me a different perspective on life and the life that I want to be living. Recently it was my dad's birthday, and I also went to sorry, I don't want to choke up. I went to the cemetery to greet him, and yeah, I think he lived a great life, and I feel like I also need to be living a greater life than I am right now. I feel like I'm very disappointed in myself. That might just be me being hard on myself. But I feel like, you know, at this point, like, my dad was like in a different country and literally didn't even know the language and all these other things. And in the military, and here I am, like, struggling to make a doctor's appointment, to go to the eye doctor, whatever, and different things like that. So I think that was just like one of the reality checks of, like, you know what, I want to live life to the fullest as much as I possibly can. Yeah, and so there was another thought. I've probably talked about this before, but I'm also going to dump it again. But it was like, oh, if your, say, 80-year-old self was able to transport to the day that you're living today, would they be happy with what you were doing? You know, were you going about your day living it to its fullest, or were you like brain rotting and stuff like that? So those are just things that I'm really, like, actually truly trying to fix. My brain rotting, unfortunately. But I have been exchanging it, kind of. I'm just starting with like reading on Substack for now, and kind of trying to stop these like impulses and stuff like that, because unfortunately I brain rot a lot, and like the time just goes, and I'm like, please, where the heck did the time go? But yeah, so that's something I'm working on. Another life update, not really a life update, but I mean, I have been playing tennis more, but I recently found out about a round robin that I can be playing. So it's like those day of like tournaments type of thing. So I'm excited to be doing that and kind of I don't know, forcing myself into new situations because I feel like it's not like I'm going to school anymore and like there's a first day of school and kind of the excitement of that. And I feel like I kind of, not that I lost that, but I just don't have those opportunities as much anymore. And I think, I guess I just want to feel alive. I just want to feel something. I want to feel more like fear. I want to be more comfortable and all those things because they're all signs of growth to an extent. So yeah, I think those are just things, and that's maybe why I was seeking out, volunteering and tennis and all these other things because I feel like I'm not truly living life to its fullest. And from maybe an outsider looking in, from things that I post, maybe it's like, oh, like, Sarah, you live a good life, XYZ, XYZ. And yes, I will say, like, I recognize the privilege and the blessings that I do have. But at the same time, I mean, everybody has their own struggles, and I feel like I'm still never doing enough, or it's not enough. I should be helping more people. I should be helping my family more. I should be doing more things, XYZ. And yeah, it's like maybe the Filipino mentality of like, oh, you're not good enough. You'll never be good enough. Damn it. That's just like getting me where I'm like, I need to be doing more. But another thing is that I even said this at the very beginning. I need to be practicing more self care. So whether that's just doing everything that I say I'm going to do on my checklist and staying consistent and stuff like that, I think these are all things, small things that I truly, truly, truly need to work on because I'll start things and then sometimes I just won't finish them. But yeah, I have been reading a lot of good like Substack articles just in general. One of them being is that it was hobbies that will help you be disgustingly smarter, XYZ, and kind of will help you in general because of like the self control or like, decision making, etc. One of them was actually well, archery, which I'm not going to get into, maybe, but obviously because like it's like you have to be like physically and mentally kind of sound because if your headspace isn't there, it'll directly correlate into what you're doing. When you're like obviously shooting the arrow. That was one of them as an example. The other one is chess because I was like, oh, that was one that's like kind of reasonable. I could learn how to do it. I've always strayed away from it because I was like, oh man, I don't want to think. As a kid, I was like, checkers, it's so much easier. But now I'm like, okay, I kind of need to do something more with my brain because I feel like a lot of the things that I'm doing, again, I'm a little bit on autopilot. So I'm just trying to break the habit. I mean, one of the things is like or one of the things also in the article was that like, for overconsumption and everything that you're doing, like what is something that is not tied to public, not necessarily public, but like what's not tied to like say something that's trending. You're not doing it just because you saw it on social media. What's something that you're doing for yourself just because it's a promise to yourself type of thing. One of those things is actually me writing with my left hand. Just to like, fire my little brain neurons and stuff. Obviously it's like it's not like I'm gonna go into a competition for anything. I'm not gonna, whatever. Like there is no like prize for doing this. It's literally just me and myself because it brings me joy and to just say I can do this. So I'm trying to find more of those little things in life that I'm doing just for myself. Not because I saw it on social media or whatever, but this is something that I'm truly just doing for myself because that's one of my acts of self-care. Just doing something just to do it because it makes me happy. So that's one thing that I'm just doing just cause. And I'm trying to find more of those because there's not a lot of things that I can say I do that is just like for fun. Oh, actually, junk journaling. That is one thing that I will say. I do truly enjoy that and I didn't realize it. Oh, another thing that I thought of. So maybe I have like a handful. Collecting postcards actually. So I guess it goes hand in hand with like junk journaling, but now I realized I could segment it. I love writing letters. I love sending postcards, collecting them, and then now I actually have an album. So I am writing it. Oh, sorry. I am creating a little like postcard collection, stuff like that, and also collecting cards and stuff that people send, like if it fits into it. But I've been doing that, and I kind of like seeing the letters that either I've written, because if it's a postcard I'll write it and add a picture, but obviously if it's somebody else sending it to me, I'll just put that in. But yeah, so I actually have been doing that because I think there's something that I've been missing in general, it's just like, oh, like, human connection. I feel like in this digital world, I'm not going to an office or whatever for like a 9 to 5 like that. So I do enjoy, getting physical mail and stuff like that, because in the digital world, it's like call them on a phone, text them, whatever. But physical, like memorabilia and all of that is, I feel like it's so important, because then it's like a piece of them, a piece of a moment of their life where they had to literally write it out, drop it off at the post office and stuff like that. So I do really enjoy that. And maybe it comes from my fear of Alzheimer's and like, oh my god, I'm one day gonna forget everything, and I'm kind of creating this for my future self, because I love being nostalgic. I love going down memory road and seeing things. So maybe that's why I am like junk journaling and doing more albums and stuff like that. But at the same time, my mom also did this a lot when she was younger. She would be the person to like print out the pictures, send it to them, and at the time it wasn't that easy. Like you'd have the film cameras, those disposable cameras. You'd have to go develop them for those people, and I literally remember going to like Walgreens, CVS, and just waiting there in and there to for the 1 hour like photo pickup or whatever, where my mom would be like decorating things and putting in stuff. And I think that's not that it's a lost art right now. I feel like people still do it, but maybe it's not as consistent, because I know that some of my CVS's actually took away like the 1 hour photo. So obviously it's probably online and stuff like that, because I also have ordered it online. But yeah, I think those are just some analog activities that I want to be slowly bringing back and putting it into my life, and kind of not over consuming everything. Another thing is like, if I have one screen on, I don't want to have like a TV on, or like two screens. I'm trying to really just not consume so much. I don't know if this is true, but I saw, and this is contradictory because I saw it from social media. But um me trying to not overconsume, sharing you what I consumed. But anyways, it was about well, back in the day, apparently, I don't know, I didn't fact check this as well, so don't quote me on this. Apparently back in the day, they're like, consuming stuff on social media was not a thing. So basically to the point where what's it called, they would put a pin in the candle, and then when it drops, because it burns after that, like you would wake up to the sound of a pin, which is crazy, because it's like that's how much they weren't consuming, that like the sound of that could wake them up. Versus me, it's like I feel like I'm always consuming everything. Like right now, I hear the fan is like always on, or like there's music playing, or like there's something like happening outside. There's always something going on where it's not ever like fully quiet. To the point where, I mean, this is also bad on my end, to the point where I can't wake up to my alarm clocks, and that's crazy, because like back in the day, if this is true, people could wake up to like pins dropping, and I can't even wake up to my alarm that's been going on for the last hour. Like that's kind of crazy that my brain has literally what's it called, like canceled it out, and it doesn't even hear that sound anymore. So those are just things that I'm like, I do not like consuming so much things. And then another thing that I read as I'm brain dumping. Oh yeah, so like basically your cognitive load and everything, it has to do with a lot of your environment and stuff like that. And I didn't realize that basically me being stressed out also is because of my clothes, for example. It's like having to kind of choose everything what I want to wear, and all of that like takes or no, like mental headspace, because it's like I'm thinking so hard to kind of do this like one simple task. And so it's things like that where like I really want to declutter my life, my headspace, all of these things, because I just didn't realize how much it actually adds up. Like even if it doesn't seem like it's I guess like a lot to me, but it's like I don't know how to explain it. I'll have to send you guys a Substack article. But essentially that was just like one thing that clicked for me, where I was like, oh, before there was a time when I did like the Marie Kondo method, where I cleared stuff and I genuinely felt lighter, because it wasn't so much stuff that I just had everywhere, even if I wasn't using it. But life happens, and now my closet is full again, and I'm like, that's why it's like so hard. Like I'm annoyed that I don't use like half my closet, because like the weather and all that other stuff. But yeah, and I feel like those are all just small things that I really kind of need to reset my whole life and keep myself accountable, especially with these videos, because I do enjoy watching these and seeing, okay, like yeah, you have had growth and stuff like that. And you're doing okay. You're You're getting better slowly. I think just being 1% better from yesterday is a good thing. So I think that's where my today starts. I know that I've been off of this for 2 months. So now my next video will be like getting back into it again, part two. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm also trying to learn Tagalog. I don't know if I said that last time, but now I truly am. I've been learning a lot more through like songs and reading and writing in Tagalog. So hopefully next time around, maybe in a year from now, I'm a little bit more fluent. Hopefully. And maybe I could do some of these in Tagalog. Or just reading in Tagalog. But we'll see. I guess that is my life update for now. Am I doing anything else? And Kill It Go has been going, excuse me. Announcements? I don't know. I have the Sampaguita jerseys back in stock. I think I don't know if I put this. Long story short, like I'm not in the what's it called? Yeah, I'm not doing a lot of the things that I said I was doing because of like things falling apart, not because of myself, but because of other stuff outside, external factors. And so it shifted a lot of things, and now I kind of have to be on my toes for a lot of things. So I feel like there's a lot of like life lessons, business lessons that I've kind of been learning the hard way, and that's totally fine. I think I needed to have to go through that. So that's another thing. Just life is lifing, but life will continue to life. So I will life on. And you should too. Whoever's watching this. But yeah, hopefully this brought you comfort. I don't know, that you're not the only one struggling, and we will get through this together. But yeah, that's all for this vlog, and I'll see you tomorrow because I will make a promise to myself to keep vlogging and doing this so that I have good news to share, and I kind of brainwash myself into thinking that, everything is going to be great. And everything will be. Everything will fall into place. But yeah, so I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!